It's my time, it's my season, and I've got a good reason to open my mouth. Gonna let it out, open your mind, grab your friend, hope you listen to the end. The vibe is good and learning meets on She Who Speaks.
Hi, thank you for joining us again. I'm Renee, lover of a good laugh and all things behavioral. With me is Marilyn. She's unassuming with a good listening ear. And Lavmin. She's unstoppable with an angelic voice. We're so excited to have you join us again for another episode. And we are just going to jump in and talk about some exciting things. But before we do that, girls, I saw on TV an ad. I don't know if you saw it. It was like for dating, but
Mhm.
the guy, you know how they draw the picture of like the devil, like how he looks? Well, the guy was
Mhm.
looking that way. So basically he was the devil. And this girl is dating him and she's talking about, oh, we met on this and this site. And I thought, that's gutsy for a dating app. I don't know if I would have used that angle, but it certainly is creative. But then it kind of made me start to think like, what are how many dating apps are there out there? How are people meeting new people? Because we're all kind of sequestered to our homes. So how are people meeting?
That's funny because when I was thinking about that, that I saw an article literally this week about the fact that there was about more than 1,500, and I don't even know if it's just in America or overseas, and I'm sure it's more than that.
Wow.
So it seems that it's a booming business. I studied law. Maybe I should have done this type of app because honestly, it's just a booming business, especially like you said in the during this lockdown because of this pandemic.
Mhm.
People really need to fed the need to connect, and so that's how they were able to make so much money from that. Right?
Mercy. I feel like that's insane. Like if you had an app, what would you name it? Like it would have to be something catchy. So me, Jesus, and Timmy, or what? How would what? What would you call the app? I don't even know.
I'm not that creative. A dating app.
I don't know. It depends of the your purpose when you're dating. Are you dating to connect with someone? Does religion matters to you? Are you trying to connect with someone with the same religion?
Mhm.
Because someone with the same job or someone with the same. I even heard that there is an app for like celebrities. Like if you have the same
Yeah, I
status.
heard about that. Hmm.
Oh wow.
What are you looking for in an app? And so I can only speak for myself. I'm not single, of course, but if I was single, I would try to connect maybe through a Christian app.
Hmm.
And like the name that I would come up with, I don't know.
I don't know if I'm that creative to find like
Like,
I feel like give it a try, Marilyn. I feel like you have it in your bones. Give it a name.
let me try. I was about to say David and Bathsheba, but that's not a good story. I don't
No.
that is not the right one. That is not the right one.
Our relationship is doomed. Okay.
right, right. So I don't know. From that, yeah, I don't know. But Jesus, something that was a good beginning,
Oh,
Renee.
me, Jesus, and little Timmy. That's the name of my app.
Ah!
Me,
Hey,
Jesus,
be
me,
careful.
Jesus, and you, maybe me, Jesus, and you. Okay.
Hey, come
Oh,
on.
okay, okay.
Oh, all right, all
It's more
right.
inclusive. Okay.
All right.
Creative
Hey,
You get it, girl.
together.
you have to. But I'm excited. Like we're talking about a really fun topic today. When I hear the theme of it, it reminds me of the sitcom Living Single. We are living. Yeah, yeah.
Ah,
That
yeah.
shows how old I am, but that's what I
Uh-huh.
remember. I feel like we can't talk about it without having someone who's about it.
Hmm.
So I think I'm going to, you know how on the game show when they call a friend a lifeline? I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that.
Right,
So
right.
let's see.
Hey guys.
Hey,
Hey
Danielle.
Danielle. Thanks for joining us. So we were just kind of talking about living single, what it's about, and I kind of first of all, I want to tell people who you are because we all know you, but I can't assume that everyone that's going to see you goes, oh, yeah, that's Danielle. So
Yeah.
Danielle is a friend of ours, and we absolutely love her because she's one of the most, I'm going to use nice words because my
I'm
compliments
like,
are odd. Okay. So she's very fun loving. She's out there. She lives loud. Like if you know her, you love her. Or you're at least
Definitely.
curious by her, like, how is she able to be this or do that or what? She's just a fun personality and she keeps it 100. So I thought she'd be the great person for all of us to kind of sit down and talk about what it means to live single and pick your brain and all of that. But
that's a great
before we,
introduction. I love it.
huh?
So that was a great introduction. Thank you.
You're welcome. But I do want to kind of talk to you about something first. So we like to kind of look up what we're talking about so that we try not to just talk about it from just our perspective, but try to think outside of the box and answer what other people might be thinking. And so I realized that apparently there are some questions that single women, according to the research I found on a very trusted source, it's called Google. According to Google, there are questions that apparently are very annoying. So I'm going to try to find them, and let's play a game with it. I'll read the question, and we will just think back to when we were single and if we got those questions. So if anyone ever asked you that question, you're gonna just go ahead and raise your hand. Okay, ready?
Uh-huh.
All right. Who are you dating these days?
Mm-hmm.
How could a woman like you be single? What about, are you putting yourself out there? Okay, I didn't get that one.
And I said that to some of my friends that
Oh
are
yeah.
single. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Friends, I'm
My
sorry.
best friend
I was
tells
one
me
of
every day. Every day.
Woo.
Listen, this list though, because I'm like, ooh, this. So we're gonna have to ask Daniel if this is annoying because I asked some of these questions too. So does it bother you that your friends are engaged or married? I never got that one. Mm-mm. Would you be interested in blank? I can set you up with him. Like, do people try to set you up on a person? Yeah, I didn't get that.
I've had a client.
I'm sure.
I don't know how many people are gonna watch this. So I had a client.
And did you go to a date? Did you actually meet the person? Okay.
Oh,
And
we'll have to talk about that.
No, and are you single? Okay.
Well, I'll say it. It doesn't matter. I don't know, but it was a client who is wanting me to date her son,
Yeah,
and I went on a date with her son, and it was just very, it's like if it doesn't work, like, are you still gonna come and see me? Like, what's gonna happen? But we went on a date. He was very nice, kind, great guy. He was a great guy, but
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question, Danielle? That people ask you if you are too picky. If are you single because you're too picky?
Yes, actually my mother. So I can give you guys actually the names of certain people who say these things. My mom tells me that I'm too picky. She just feels like I should be dating anybody. Apparently, I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, she just wants the grandchild. That's actually maybe that's what they focus on. That's because I remember one of my friend, her sister, her older sister. I remember one day she told me she was past 30, and I will never forget that. She said, after 30, you stop having standards. You lower your standard because the market is so low that you should focus on companionship. You just want to know who's going to be a good companion. Long story short, she followed her own advice. No shade, but married to someone, they're not together anymore. And now I feel like she met someone that she actually like, and I'm happy for her.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll let you know that that's something that I wanted to ask you as a single woman.
Yeah.
I believe that you are in your 30s or around.
Yeah, my standards got higher as I got older.
Ah, come on, girl.
So
Yes.
it's getting, I don't know. It may be like I tell my mom all the time, I think my husband is an alien. He doesn't belong to this earth. Like legit. I really kind of start believing it's I don't know if I'm getting off topic, but
Go, girl,
so
go for it.
I got this letter. It's weird. I don't know if I've shared this. I don't know. But I got a letter from this guy. It wasn't letter. It was an envelope with pictures. Okay,
Okay.
pictures of somebody holding a flower, like a not a flower, like a 4-leaf clover or something like that. Very weird. It was the weirdest thing ever. I threw it away because I got nervous. And the person, they only put my Instagram name, so I don't know who the person is. So I looked up the name, and then on it said it was like something like a space somebody. My mom was like, there you go. I said, no.
I mean, he's
Don't
not from
understand.
this world, so he might be your husband, girl.
He might. I was like, this is weird. It's very strange. Very weird. But I don't know. Maybe God's like, you need to stop saying that because somebody really weird will come out of here.
I don't
Why
know.
did the standard get so higher? Like, and not the
Yeah.
other. And not, what
Well,
happened
because
to you?
you learn more, you're growing, and it's like, and you see your friends' relationships. I mean, I could go on and on with it. But anyway, you see your friends' relationships, you see certain things that you want, which you don't like my sister, and like when she first had the child and seeing who was taking care of the child more. My brother-in-law was a little like, ugh. But now he takes care of the children more than my sister. But I guess it's the timing, like baby,
Yeah.
children. It's like, But I was like, oh, no. You think you're going to leave me with that baby? Why that baby crying for the night? No. That's not it. But now I just don't want children at this moment. That's where I've gotten. But which also makes my standards a little different too. I don't know if it's higher, but that also cuts off some people because everybody wants children. So that's, I don't know. We'll see how that works out. But yeah, it definitely got higher because I've been more knowledgeable. The people that I've dated in the past, I realized that I don't want that. These are things I don't want. Yeah. So yeah, that's why I would say.
And one of the things that you said, and I don't know if I'm going off topic a little bit, but even when you are in a relationship, I'm sorry, guys. Just
Keegan, what you want to say?
outside noise.
Yes.
Let's come back.
Yeah.
So when you are in a relationship and when you get married and stuff, even in that case, you grow. You don't stay in that stage. There is so much happening. So I get why, as a single person, you observe and you're like, no. But know that just little information is that in your relationship, and that's probably what when you took the example of your sister, that's probably when you see a change in the dynamic, because even when you get married, you evolve, and your couple, like you evolve as a couple as well. So I get why the standard got higher, but just FYI that you, even in a relationship, you don't stay in the same stage, if it makes sense.
No, I actually, it's so funny. I say my sister relationship because there are parts of their relationship where I'm like, oh, I'm never getting married. Please. And then they're like, oh man, that's so sweet. I really want that. Then it's like, you guys really worked that out. That's so great. Amazing. I see the dynamics. And sometimes I'm like, I don't know. I don't know about this relationship. It's a marriage thing.
You know what I think is so admirable though? I feel like, so I remember when I was in college, I went to a Christian college, y'all. And so, first of all, I went to a Christian school my whole life, except for when I came to America. So I just was, raised as a baby Jesus sister kind of a thing. And so you thought of college as the place where you went to go find your husband and learn. But mainly you're going to come back with a husband from college. And I remember I promised my sister that I wouldn't date anybody my first semester. I would just focus on books. And that's what I did. First semester turned to be like almost the whole time there, but whatever. But I remember seeing like my little friends that they'd go out on dates or have their boyfriends. And I remember thinking, man, I would like that. I would kind of like to have some person just come page me over the intercom and Renee come to the door what's it called, lobby, come to the lobby,
Mhm.
and then that would be my person, like all you people who lived on boarding school, the lobby is like, if you
Yeah.
get called to the lobby, you're a big deal. But then talk to me about how seeing that, how you're able to still maintain the standards, because I think that's a big deal. I feel like sometimes if we're not careful, seeing what we or yearning for what we can see on the surface almost can breathe a sense of by any means necessary desperation. How do you, as a powerful, beautiful woman, maintain those standards even when you're surrounded by people? Because I know your sister, you're twins. I know you're always posting on your Instagram that you're not twins, but you are. They have the
Mhm.
same face, like seriously.
I
Uh,
mean, we
they're not
say the same thing at the same time when people ask us questions. So they get
They're
confused. They're like,
twins.
"You're not twins." We answer together. They're like, "You sure?" We're like, "Yes." We just answered that.
They are
But it's
twins.
funny. One of the questions that you asked, was, do you ever get asked like, how do you feel that your other people are getting married and you're not
Mhm.
getting married? So this is my sister's big thing, which she always talks to me about, which makes me not look at other things like that so often, is because she's always like, would you marry that person? Would you date that person? And I'm like, no, 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 no.
No, that's
So
good.
it's like I I may there's not, first of all, there's not, my mind, the relationship that I think I should have, I don't see a lot of it out there. So when I see certain things, I realize my values in what I hold dear to myself. And when I look at that relationship and they're doing things that I don't do, then it's like, okay, well, that would be. And so I don't, sometimes I'm
Mm.
just like, well, dang, everybody getting married, I'm like, well, what's wrong with me? You know what I'm saying? But then my sister just reminds me, would you get married to that person? I'm like, no. So, okay. So that's not, that the end. Like when Idris got married, it was like, dang, oh man. And she like, would you get married to him? Definitely, for sure. By all means
She said
necessary.
yes.
You know what I'm saying? So then that's what hurts me, is when those people get married. I'm like, my husband. But no, I'm not just, I don't, they don't affect me, I guess you would
Mhm.
say that.
Good.
I wanted to know, is it the difference between dating in your 20s and dating in your 30s? Like, did you?
Hmm.
So let's go to the fact that I don't really date. Let's start with that.
First of all, I love this is going so well. I love it. Just
20s, however, in my 20s, I dated all the way up to 25. Number one, I was in a very long relationship,
Mhm.
and it was very consuming. It was like one of my best friends that I grew up with, so I could not leave him. It's like, even though I know that we're not supposed to be together, it's like we had this connection that I'm like,
Mm.
not separate myself. I mean, just to give y'all a little tea, I mean, it's, he kind of had a baby on me. I like to tell people that now, because I feel like that doesn't really, like, people didn't think that would happen in my life, because when it happened in my life, I was like, did this really happen? Like, how? Like, how am I even in a relationship where someone's having a child? Like, what?
Ooh.
But anyway, so now it makes me feel like I'm cool. Like, I got, like, I have a cool scar or something. I'm like,
Oh
yeah,
my
girl,
goodness.
this dude had a baby while we were talking.
Oh,
At the moment, I was very sad and depressed, but now I'm like, yeah, girl, that happened to me too. But anyway,
come on, girl.
so that was a very long time. And then there was a question that Renee had put on the thing that I thought was funny, but I don't know if you're going to ask this. I'm going to skip to that question because it just came to my mind now that we're talking. But it was like, what would you tell your 30-year-old self? I'm 36. 30 years ago, I was dating somebody. I would tell them, you're not going to marry that guy. That guy, you will not marry. So it's like, I feel like from that point, I've only really dated like two people. I've been in a relationship with like two people. So, and this was from high school. When kids were like in the bathroom kissing, or like they're like, oh, they're doing that, or they're doing anything. That wasn't me. My first kiss was like 18. I was 18 or something. And it wasn't even like a real kiss. Like I messed up. I was like joking around and I made a mistake because I was like, hey. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't supposed to happen. Wasn't even interested in a guy like that. So that happened. But I really have not been in relationships. So when I got with that guy, it was a long time. So I don't now in my 30s, I give people chances. I don't even think I've dated anybody. Have I been on a date? Yes, I have. No, I haven't. I give people opportunities. That's what I tell my mom. I said, Mom, I'm going to give everybody opportunity. If you want to go on a date with me, I'll give you an opportunity. The thing is, I need to be entertained. My mind, it goes like that immediately. So, you know, sometimes I know in my mind, I'm like, yo, this dude is not going to entertain me. I'm not going to be interested. But, you know, if I go and I try to talk, but then I'm like, what? Excuse me? Like, I remember one guy I went on a date with and I really had to ask him over and over again, what did you say? I'm sorry. What were you talking about? Like, it was just very bad, you know? But it's there. I don't know the difference because I really haven't been dating in my 30s like that.
I hear you, but what I want to know, it's you know, is it? In my mind, I always thought that when you're in your 30s, because you know what you want and you know who you are, at least you have a better understanding of yourself. Well, you attract. And I want you to correct me.
No. That is the reality.
You attract something
that would be a
different.
regular person's answer. That would be a regular person's answer. As for me,
in my house,
it's like I'm like, okay, so there's been a couple of guys that I've talked to since I've been to Orlando. Something that happens to me when I'm dating, this is a bad thing, it's a bad quality that I pray about that God will just remove it, is that I get like, maybe this is supposed to be the person and let me just try, especially if I like them. If I like them and there are things that bother me that I'm like, I can't. Okay, example. There's one guy I dated. I was talking to. As soon as he started talking to me, I said, I'm not going to talk. I would never marry this guy. Like, never marry. But he just looked so interesting. He was so cool, number one. And it would have just been like a cool little look that we had going on, you know? But I was like, I'm never going to marry this guy. But anyway, in my mind, I created him to be the person that possibly could be the one.
I see.
This mind of mine, it does some crazy, tricky things.
Yeah.
You know, it started to like, okay, well, maybe, okay, he wants to go to church with me, or okay, you want to do that, or you know, you're an artist. We can do this together. That's gonna be great. And then he just was not. We text. I'm giving you all the tea. We text from September to December. The first time he called me was in December. I should have immediately canceled that situation. Like, say, no, sweetie, we just friends. Didn't even like him in the beginning, but I was like entertained. And then his friends were like saying, no, he's really shy. But no, he wasn't shy. It's just that's what he does. It's just weird. So, and then I started to make myself like him more through my mind, but I know I really didn't like him. You know what I'm saying? It's very bad. So that's what I'm saying. Like, when you think that I know more, I know better that, okay, I don't want to be with this person, but yet I'm like, well, maybe.
Yeah.
So and then I create a story. And one of my best friends that I grew up with, we actually were talking for a little while. And he told me that all the time. He said, listen, you're creating a story of me that you want in the future that I'm not. I'm not that person. This is who I am. This is who I am, and you keep creating me to be this person, and I'm not going to be this person.
Yeah.
I feel like
Which you can try. We can do this.
Listen, that friend is wise, because I feel like as women we tend to do that. I think because we are we have intuition and we have all of these positive little attributes going for us.
We love projects too.
We love projects too. You know, but you have and da. So what if, you know, all these other 6 things don't work? We can get there. I feel like that's amazing though, that you're able to recognize that on the front end. Because I feel like so many of our sisters, so many of our brothers, you know, they kind of know something's not really it, but they push forward anyway, because I mean, well, we've been talking for 6 weeks, so now we have to date. Okay, well, we've been dating for 2 years. Well, I guess next step is engagement. Okay, well, now we're engaged, or now we have a child, so I guess now the next step is we're gonna have to get married, kind of make this thing official. And you end up in situationships, if I can use that
Mm-hmm.
word, with people that, like, you had a gut feeling from the jump that this person was not it. So I feel like that's amazing. You said another thing too that kind of caught my interest. Let me ask you ladies too. Danielle, I know you were born here. I think you're the only one of us that was actually born here. But your
I
roots,
got Caribbean roots, so you know.
exactly. See, but your
Come
roots are
on,
like, your
yeah.
roots go deep out of this country too. And I'm wondering, because I remember when I relocated here, I'm from Jamaica. For anyone that missed the introductory videos and all of that, Jamaican men are assertive. You know, they may call to you in ways that could get them arrested in America. You know, it's a little out there. They're a little extreme. They say things to you that would be considered sexual assault in some situations. But in
Mm-hmm.
our culture, it's like, that's how you know you have it going on. When,
Okay.
you know, they say these very inappropriate things to you and kind of compliment you on specific body parts. That's how you know you're the business. So when I came to America and I walked the streets unharassed, it messed with my head. Like, I'm like, what's going on? Do I not have it? Like, but that's when I realized that, like, even how people date, even how people interact is cultural. Like, and even within the culture, there are subcultures. So I'm listening to you about this guy that was okay to just text you for 3 months. And I'm thinking, what? Like, you have my number and it took you 3 months before you called me? Okay, next. But then I had to remind myself, well, you know, in this culture, they're kind of different. So I guess my question to you is, and I see Love Means say something, so I'll just put my question out there and whichever one of you go first. But do you find that men are less assertive?
In America?
Yeah.
Oh, heck no. Yeah, I mean, it depends on what you're looking for. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
like,
I think men are men.
yeah,
But
this is,
I do see the difference in Jamaican men.
okay.
Listen, if you know, you know.
I do. Because I for some reason I think they attack me more. I don't know why. I think because I feel like Jamaican men feel like they want to mold you. You know, they want to mold you for their ways, or they have strict standards, should I say. They have standards, and if you're not fully there, then they want, and I'm like, you know, so they're like, let me see if I can mold her, and then they like, no. I may not be strict in standards of situations or straight on, but I'm too all the way to be tamed. So it doesn't work.
I feel you.
Right. One of the common theme that I hear through what we're saying is that I feel like as a woman, it's important to maintain your integrity.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not Olivia Pope. You're not trying to fix anyone. And it doesn't matter really, like if you're dating someone from the Caribbean or what you have. I feel like it's important to really maintain your integrity, and through the dating process, to be yourself, to know what you want. And if I could really go back to come back a little bit to what Alavmin asked prior to that, is that it's really important to enjoy your situation. And I feel like that's one of the things that I liked throughout my life, is like when you are single, enjoy the process. And sometimes that's what makes it difficult, and that's why sometimes we're panicking and we don't know, and then it's because we're not really like enjoying who we are. And I love how Danielle is really like, no one is going to mold me. No one is going. If I don't like someone, I'm not going to compromise my criteria or my standards because someone else is getting married, because I'm in my 30s, because it's really important to maintain your integrity and who you are, and to be faithful to who you are and what you want. So
It's,
yeah, I applaud
it's
Danielle.
funny because yeah, it's
Yeah.
funny because when we have conversation with friends, singles and married, when they actually when you have group that are mixed, because sometimes I feel like married women like stay only with married women, but when it doesn't happen, what I like is like the married woman's like, girl, enjoy your single life,
Yep.
have fun, and the single woman's like, yeah, said the one who's married, yeah,
Yeah.
thank you, thank you.
It's
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 just
weird when you get that.
Yeah.
It's like,
because
why are you telling me? You're telling me to enjoy it, but you're also. But the thing is, I get it, and
yeah.
because everyone around me, my best friend, my sister, and all my other friends, a lot of people are married. I think there's just a couple. Me and this other girl, two girls are not married, right?
Mhm.
But I also prayed to God.
Mm,
I told God, I said, if I choose this, if you are giving me this life of singleness, these are the things that I want.
mhm.
I said, if I don't get that, now I'm gonna tell you what I want. And the funny thing is, so late, I feel like I've slightly got that right, and I'm like, well, dang, are you telling me that I'm not getting it? Then is that what this means? You're giving me what I want. Is that what's happening? But it does help. It's like the things that I said was I wanted to be able to have money to do what I want,
Mhm.
and I wanted to travel,
Yes.
and to be able to travel and to take my nieces and nephews and to be able to do stuff like give them everything that I can give them. The third thing I don't remember. I think no, this I needed my relationship with God to fulfill all of it. That's and that and
Oh,
I know that that's what our prayer is like. We want it, but it's different because clearly God created men to be our companions.
mhm.
But I said, if not, like I need to be like we are going to be going into like I need to be like Enoch, like me, you, Enoch, like we all in this. Like I need to be translated. You know what I'm saying? Those are, and I was like, I just want to live that. I just want to live a happy life and be peaceful, whatever. So, certain and he's given me majority of those things, which I'm very thankful for. And that has helped me. This past 2019, I traveled and went like away for 3 months. And I was so happy that I was not married, that I did not have any children. I was happy that I wasn't even interested in anybody, because sometimes when you're interested in somebody, they could just keep going on your mind. And when you
Mhm.
travel outside, you want to call them to check on them, to see how
Yeah,
they're doing. Let me
Yeah.
stay up on the phone with you all night, and you wasting
yeah.
time. And I was
You're
just
wasting
so
time.
thankful. I was so thankful to God that my mind was clear and I was just able to truly enjoy my trip. And of course, when I got back, my sister and my best friend, they're mad. They're like jealous. They're like,
Yeah.
what am I going to do in my life? I just don't have
Yeah,
anything. I just have these children and I'm just here.
yeah,
But
It's
it's like
yeah.
I think we just admire what we don't have in life as humans.
Mhm.
that's true. That's true. And also, I guess, is the part that, like we were talking before, it's just the fact that as you growing up, you realize that, man, I wish I had this information. So, girl, I want to let you know, you're not missing out. Like, I understand you want the companionship, but at the same time, like enjoy this process, because when you involve someone, opinion for even go to. I remember like when my first ever marriage for me it was a struggle because I'm very like independent. And then when it just involves someone to ask you what kind of cheese do you want, and I came back and you're like, no, I don't want this one, I want this one. I'm
Yeah.
like, are you
Yeah.
serious? Are
Yeah.
we gonna start like that? You know?
That is
So
crazy.
it was a process, to just to in bring someone in your world. So I guess, but the other part, like, if I then the advice, but something that I wonder, are you scared that because you've been alone for such a long time, okay, that when you meet someone that is going to be difficult for you to
Mm.
because you've been so independent for so long, that involves someone in your daily life, like I'm sure you're going to enjoy the beauty of it, because relationship is not only like, it's not only work, but it is work. And
Mhm.
that's why I'm like, do you think that you're going to enjoy that process, that
I
transition?
I'm not nervous about that part as
Okay.
much as I
Uh-huh.
am nervous about where they're going to fit in. Like, where are they going to fit? This is the thing. And I talked to my mom about this last weekend, and I was like, you know what, Mom, because I was talking to my aunt. She's like, I feel like we want you to get married, because when we go, we want you to at least be with somebody. We want to be alone. And I was like, I don't even think my mother ever thinks of me as alone. And I was actually, I said, do you think of me as alone? She's like, no. Nobody around me thinks of me as alone, because I have my support system is gangster. Like, they're deep, you know what I'm saying? And they don't like, it's like, it's we don't know. I told my best friend, I'm like, when I date somebody, we won't be able to talk like that. She's like, well, what are you going to do? Like, how is that going to happen? Where are they going to fit in this situation? I'm like, they've got to fit. They're going to fit, my niece and nephew. Like, it's like, now I'm like, I don't know where they would fit, but that's my concern. But I'm not concerned about, me mending together with them. And I talked to a client about this the other day, and they told me that I shouldn't look at marriage like this. I shouldn't look at it. I should look at it a different way. But this is how I think it's supposed to happen. So I feel like I have connections with people in my life, right? And I'm going to use my best friend as an example, because she is my closest friend, but I met her in a later part of my life. Like, she's my best friend now, and I think we've only been best friends for 7 years or something. But when I met her, I knew there was a connection. I knew there was something between us. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, oh, I want to be her friend. I want to hang out with her, and we hung out, and there was a connection. We started to, it became a little weird. We started to have same dreams. Like, if I had a dream, she'll talk to me about it the next day. It was I feel like it's just God ordained, our friendship. So I look at me meeting my husband like that. And it's so funny.
Specific.
We have,
It's very specific.
Yeah. So I don't know. It may not be like that. She was like, it's a friendship is different. But even in our friendship, we went through the same thing. I don't know how I didn't know how she was going to have a space in my life, because my family, which is my support system, they're deep. Like I said, I talk to my sister constantly. I didn't know how but guess what? My sister actually needed a break during the time from talking to me constantly, and then now she popped up. I was like, look, because at that time I was frustrated with my sister, and I was like, you're just always busy. Like, you don't have time to talk to me. She's like, I got the kids. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And then you got to talk to me. And then lo and behold, here we go. And then she just, now the roles are split, So that's how I look at it. I feel like it's not going to be a hard thing. It's not going to be something that I'm going to be stressed out to work towards, because it's going to be something that I'm invested in, that I love, that I'm interested in, and I'm going to want to work towards. So that's how I just feel, I don't know. That's why the whole alien thing, I don't know. I'm just feeling like there'll be a connection that I'm not going to want to let go of that connection. Is that wrong, guys?
No,
that's not going to happen.
It can. Because I feel like, so for me and Karen, we knew each other basically our whole lives, but there was no connection. Like, I couldn't stand him, and he didn't think I existed, or it's not romantic at all. And only because Jesus told me to look at some letter I'd written to Jesus a couple years and said, it's Karen. I was like, you sure? Okay. So, I mean, it depends. It depends.
Each story is unique. But as far as your desire to have this meaningful connection, and this thing that lets you know that without a doubt, this is I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think, for me, it's just be open. At the end of the day, as I hear you are Christian, devoted, like you tell yourself. I feel like when you went in vacation for 3 months, you were on your honeymoon that's why I was like, she was in her own honeymoon with God and having her own quality time, exploring the world. So this intimacy that you create with God, I hope that He will honor that for you. Because that's not, it's not something that He cannot do for your heart. So yeah, maybe He's preparing him, he's not ready yet. So, let him cook a little bit more.
And I feel like I make connections. And that's been like my first boyfriend that I was saying that's for so long. Like I connected with him but I know that there our characters were not aligned, and our spiritual goals were not aligned. Our there's a lot of not the alignment wasn't there and everything. But his dad would always ask me, like, why are you still with him? I was like, he's my friend. Like, that's my friend. And even to this day, he doesn't want to be my friend. I hope he watches this, but whatever. He doesn't. To this day, he doesn't. And he told me that. He said, when we're not dating, we're not gonna be friends. But I, to this day, miss his friendship. Like, I'm always like, I would just love to just talk to him right now, because I just feel like he should always be in my life. We may not be together. Definitely don't, that's done. But I want him as my friend, And I feel like I make connection with people like that. So it would just only make sense.
I hear you. But I have to learn that before being married, I do have someone that I have a lot of male guy friend, and I had to learn to mourn the way we interact. Like it was a process, because this it shifts, or even like because they had their life and I had mine. But I felt like I had to. It was a time where I have to, like, what did change? Why we not that close? Why we cannot call like we used to? It's clear the line is set up. It's not more than that. So why? And it's just because, I guess, I don't know. People, I never. We're just growing, and you just want to be careful, and you want to be respectful, but you don't. The love is there. It's just that we have to be friends differently. I don't know
Yeah.
if it makes sense.
Yeah. No, I get that. Another one of my friends, I definitely said we definitely have to be friends differently, because he clearly views friendship differently than I do. So we,
I hear you.
Every story, I mean, as Renee shared her experience, and I mean, mine, and everybody has a different story. And sometimes
what's your story, Marilyn? I want to hear your story.
Me too. I thought that's where she was going.
I feel like I've heard both of their stories. I've never heard your story.
he just
All right.
oh,
I know Jason. I know Jason from when he was younger. So how do you do it? How did he do it? How he get you?
He got me. I don't know how he did that. He just hypnotized me, and next thing I know, I was in a plane.
Moving to America.
Yeah, but more seriously, and I mean, I'm not saying that to shade him or whatever, but then when you are in the reality of marriage, it's totally different from like when you date. And the point that I wanted to make is that your story doesn't have to be someone else's story. And I would say, as far as sometimes you don't even marry your soulmate, if it makes sense, but it's just that you write your own story, and really God can do anything in your relationship, and make your relationship evolve in a way that, wow, this is the person that I needed in that, for this or for that, and this is the person that God sent for me, even though this is not the person that I have a special connection. That connection, when I dream of this, he dreams of that. When we it does not always look like that. That's the reality. Let's be real. It does not always look like that. But I feel like it's important not to compare,
of course,
other relationships, and to, as you said, you're doing a great job, because I feel like it's important to be true to yourself, and true to what you know is good for you, and what you know is like what God has ordained for your life, basically. And that path might not always be the path that you would have been like, no, but I want the person to, as you said, to dream like me, or to, like, when we look at each other, our eyes just twinkle, and like there's something all the time, like so I mean, from my experience, you have to be open for your story.
Oh, definitely. I had a question. I'm sorry. Do you believe that there's only one person for you.
You stole that. That was
Uh,
going to be my question.
Girl, you
Um,
couldn't
you
ask.
know, I did. I did believe that.
I did believe that too.
I believe that I did at the time believe that I had found him,
Mm-hmm.
and he chose a different path.
Good point.
Because
Because
I honestly, and I do believe that it could have been that person, but I do think that people, God gives us choices, and we make our choices, and we choose the path that we want to go on,
Mm-hmm.
and because that person chose that path, there's no connection anymore because I'm on a different path. We're going in different directions. Um, but that's my rom-com, type mindset. I'm the one of my best friend's wedding, and the best friend ends up with the girl, but they've been friends for all this time, and that's my favorite type of movies. I love them.
uh-huh,
I always
uh-huh.
people think that's going to happen in my life, but it's just not. Came to the
Like,
conclusion that it's not going to happen. Because all my friends are gone. All the friends is over. It's done. Um, but what was the question again? What was I saying?
no, but
Yes.
I think, do you think it was only one person set for you,
No.
and
So no, now no, I don't, because I think everybody chooses their path. So no,
yeah. And
no.
I think that's something that I wish I knew when I was in my 20s, or when I was dating, that not like it's not, and accept that yes, of course you want that there's someone that you got special that you're gonna connect with, but there's not like one person. So if you don't want if you don't find that person, girl,
Yeah.
you mess up. Like you are set up, like you're going for failure. Like I feel like it was a little of a pressure that an unnecessary pressure that I had in my as I was growing, not necessarily dating process, but as I was discovering, like my mom would call it, exploring my options.
But you know what? In that, I think I was talking to somebody about this, and I actually, I'm going to take that back. There is the one person for you, but it is because God knows who your person is, right?
Okay.
Like, not
Okay,
saying that
okay.
he may have a lineup, and some people may choose wrong, but he
Yes.
already knows the end from the beginning, right? He knows when you're born to when you're end. So
Hmm.
he knows who you're gonna be with.
Yes, I agree with
If you
all.
look at it that way, then yeah, we all got our person. And I may not have, as my mom would say, it may not be in the country. It may
Yeah,
not.
but for me, I guess because we God give us free will.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mhm.
even if he is like, okay, I know, for example, Jason and Marilyn, from yes, like those two together. Ooh, that's gonna be the best partnership to get to heaven for me. But at the same time, like if Jason, that's on the one that follow that path, that it has nothing to
Yeah.
do with Marilyn. And I think, like, praise God, I hope like he will have another plan for Marilyn. Like Marilyn is
Mhm.
not stuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
an example that's an example I'm trying to say.
Hmm.
Watch
Yeah.
out, Jay.
I
I
get
feel
that.
like,
I agree.
do you feel like, and this is a kind of loony out there question, but do you feel like we're conditioned by society, by the movies that we watch,
Yeah.
that give us a certain kind of expectation of what relationships should look like and what romance is going to be like? And so it's almost like when your everyday Joe or your everyday Samantha walks up, you're like, it's not you, because this is missing, this is missing, this is missing, this is missing. Do you feel like that's a factor or not really?
Um, no, I do think we have been conditioned by the TV for sure. The TV conditioned us in so many different ways. So yes. However, you know, your standards are your I like to somebody told me one time that like you can change what I say, you can change certain things, but your values you can't change. So you have certain
Mm-hmm.
values. And in that way, if the person is walking by and they don't have my values and they cancel, just like on dating apps. So like, I'm on Bumble, which is one of my dating apps that I'm on for
Oh.
no reason. For no reason though, because it's foolish. I really don't use it. And I want to tell y'all a story. So my friend, I was on a date app for about 3 weeks. My friend got on it for the weekend. The
Uh-huh.
next day, she was on like 2 dates.
Wow.
And
Oh my
I'm still on there texting people, and then I stop texting people because I just don't want to go. This is why dating apps. If you were to ask me, does dating apps work? Not for me. Not for
God.
me. Because I just don't. I don't know how to continue on a conversation through with people that I just don't know like that. To be honest with you.
Okay, that's a
So
good
like
point.
we'll start conversations and it'll end. But on the dating app, it has like, this person does this. This smokes, they drink, they da. And immediately I'm like swipe,
Yeah.
swipe, swipe, because those are things that I don't do. So how are we gonna chill? So that's in what you were saying as in being conditioned as in this person that have this and this person doesn't have that. Yeah, I can move them along. But I think movies and TV, they can, our society conditions us into wanting a certain picture, which everybody doesn't have the same picture, which is I know that we don't know the full relationship, but Will and David's relationship, I will put them out there. We don't really know all of it. But what I do love about their relationship is they have defined their own relationship.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
that is what I
Yeah.
think society needs to put out. I appreciate them saying that because you have to, I believe in defining your own relationship. I don't ever stick with tradition. I'm not a traditional person.
Mhm.
So I like the fact that there is another way because
Mhm.
I also have an issue with commitment, number one.
Ooh.
So I'm just going on your questions because there are some questions that I saw, so I'm just gonna answer these questions. But there was one where it talks about if I was not a Christian, how would my dating be differently or whatever? I
Mhm.
probably would not get married. Number one, I would not get
Yeah.
married. I might be in a relationship, but I do not like the fact that it's indefinite. I don't like
Mhm.
eternity. Like that scares
Mhm.
me a lot. It does. It's just like, what do you mean forever? Like, like you said, people change. Like I'm going to
Yeah.
change to a different person and look
Yeah.
at, I would like to have a new experience with somebody, but I am a Christian, so I
Come
do not
on.
follow that. but, but yeah,
It's honest though. Yeah.
I do think that society does put like a picture of what it's supposed to be. And since society is filled with a lot of white people, it puts us in this white relationship and what it's supposed to be. And we don't even know that culture. So we just all confused.
Yeah.
We're just
Yes.
like, wait, is that
Definitely.
what it's supposed to be? It's just confusion. So,
Yeah.
yeah, if that answers your question.
No, definitely.
It's
Definitely.
funny that you said that about culture too, because I know even in Jamaica, I had a little cable TV, so I was able to watch westernized shows, and you'd always see the man holding the woman's hand and being so gentle and scooping her up in his arms, and they're always just kissing for no reason, just because it was a Tuesday and the sun was bright, like just all this PDA. And I didn't see any of that around me growing up. So it kind of, you know, you just have to be so careful. Like I think we all are saying, understanding what you're looking for, what your values are, what works for you. And we're not saying that there's not space in any kind of relationship to be positively impacted. So you're growing in a different direction, you're growing up.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely being careful to not change who and what you are just because you're so interested in being in a relationship. It's funny because I remember I would see friends too just change themselves entirely just for the benefit of being with this person. Maybe because they wanted to be with someone. Maybe they did truly care about the person, and they thought by changing themselves they'd be able to prolong the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like you're going against who you are at the core when you try to change yourself, who you are at your core, to be in a relationship. So I know we've been laughing and having a good time, and that's the thing with Danielle. Like you have to pay attention to her because she'll laugh and say so many things,
Yeah.
and you're like, haha, just having belly laughs. But they're gems, they're gems, just
Yeah.
boom, boom,
We
all
switched them.
over.
Definitely.
And I
Yeah.
appreciate that. I appreciate your openness and honesty with that. And one of the things Danielle will never say, because just like Love Mean and like Marilyn, she's very modest,
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
very modest.
Very
Like
good. You're very gifted.
Thank you, boo.
Yes, it is.
But she's like a social influencer. So for those of you that don't know Danielle, look at her face. You see? I knew the space was coming. But no, seriously, she
We
is.
talk about the same person.
Yes, we are.
We are.
Look her up. And those of you who know her, put it in the comments so she know I'm not crazy. Dee Carrington, okay? She is like a social influencer. She's worked with a lot of different types of people in a lot of different walks of life. And I think one of the things that I know she's going right now. No, but it's true. One of the things I've often heard people say about you is just your authenticity and your honesty. And just continue to be you. I think you have so much to bring to the table. And I think I agree. I don't know that there's like one person. I think Jesus knows our person. But I think that if we come in agreement with who God has called us to be, then we are going to come in contact with one or more, but hopefully just pick one. That's the right thing to do.
Well, thank you so much, Danielle. It was so refreshing to have you today on our episode. You are such a beautiful personality, so I mean it. It's good to see you. I miss you, so thank you so much for all this advice. And for us that want to tell us when we can find you on what is your page? Can you remind us your page on Instagram for people that want to find you, like find you?
Find me. So you can find me at Dee Carrington, Carrington, Dee Carrington. You can either go Dee Carrington, www.deecarrington.com, or you can go on Instagram at Dee Carrington. Yeah, I got my website. I am a hairstylist. As of this year, there may be other things added to that title. I don't know what God has planned for me this year, but I know that there's something happening. I actually am also moving out of the state of Florida. I'm just going to put that out there now with you guys. And I feel very honored, like really honored that you guys even think that I'm interested enough to come on your show. I appreciate it. And I wish you guys so much success, because I think this is a great avenue to talk to people. And to you guys are a great group of people. Number one, Renee knows how I feel about her on a regular. I feel like I talk to Renee a little bit more than you guys. But God only connected these three people together. So I know that you guys are going to be very successful in this, and I love you guys.
We love you too.
We love you too.
Well, my sun is going down and it's getting darker. So.
Oh man. Well, we hope you enjoyed being here with us, guys. We kind of want to hear from you too, because we've been talking, but we don't know what you have to contribute. So jump into our comment section and tell us some of the tips that you've used, whether you are single now or were single. Tell us what some of your tips are that you would tell your single self, or perhaps you would tell your future self. We kind of want to see what you think, and it might be encouraging for someone else. As always, thanks for watching. Please be sure to just take a few minutes, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you may be on the up and up with everything that we have going. We plan to bring on a bunch more of our fun friends, and Loveen, Marilyn, and I will do our best to answer all the questions you have. If there's something on your mind that you would really love for us to talk about, go ahead and send it to us in email. You can email it to the She Who Speaks podcast at gmail.com, and we won't even say who you are if you want to be anonymous, but we'll do our best. Big hugs. Talk to you soon. Thanks for
watching, everyone. See you next week. Thank you, Danielle.
Bye.